Black Clover Chapter 266, the official release is finally out, and there were some things that I purposely left out in my chapter review Friday that I saved for the chapter breakdown. So, we got a lot to uncover here, so let's get right into the chapter. So one thing I would like to break down is the start of this chapter with Gaja speaking to Julius. He mentioned to Julius that they are currently with the elves building strength. And one thing I love about this, I mentioned in my review that I am excited that Gaja is learning with the elves. I can't wait to see what kind of new magic abilities that he will learn. But also I didn't mention the other spirit guardians. One thing I know for sure is that since Gaja mentioned that they are joining this war, when they invade the Spade Kingdom, they're going to need all the help they can. And the Spirit Guardians, they were completely underwhelming. Now, I mentioned many times in other videos that the Spirit Guardians, yes, they are strong, they are stage 0. Lord Pachika hinted at the fact that the Spirit Guardians can borrow natural mana, they can use true magic, and not just Gaja. But the thing that the Spirit Guardians lack, excluding Gaja, they lack battle experience, clearly. I think since they are with the elves and if they training with the elves, this is their time to redeem themselves, because I know, not just me, but a lot of fans were disappointed in the Spirit Guardian. I know for a fact, some of you who are listening to this video right now, probably shaking your head like, yeah, they were a huge letdown. I believe this is the perfect time, the perfect transition for Tabata to write this in a way where we see the Spirit Guardians in action, not just Gaja, because we know for a fact Gaja is not the only one who is pissed off that Lord Pachika is taken away. It has to be the other Spirit Guardians. So I think this is their time, not to get off screen, but to see them in battle, and I think fans will enjoy it. But the way that Gaja looks, I'm so excited for it. Nozel, Gaja, and Noel versus Vanica. It's about to book it. We are going to need that, and I'm going to talk about that separately in a different video. Now, this part of the chapter where things get a little spicy because Nacht reveals himself to the Black Bulls saying that he is the vice captain, but Vanessa and Finral, they are so confused. They're like, why show up now? We haven't seen you a single time. And he tells them it's because he hates the Black Bulls. And he lets them know that being a Magic Knight, he can go any place he can, but being a vice captain, he's more lenient, it's more convenient for him to go anywhere. So he doesn't need to be in that area with them because as a vice captain, he has more freedom. Nacht tells them that the Black Bulls are a good-for-nothing squad that causes more damage than earnings, and he heard that the Black Bulls were a key role in the war 6 months ago with the elves, but that doesn't erase their past. And Nacht takes it to a whole nother level, going on a rant saying that Vanessa does nothing but drink, Finral is careless with women, Ghosh is an ex-convict, Magna looks like an evil, openly delinquent peasant, while Zora looks like an evil-looking belligerent, and he calls them all worthless. But Gray, she screams out saying, don't judge people based on their appearance, they are good people. And she is right because, Nacht may have a point when it comes to Vanessa, Finral, and Ghosh. Yes, Ghosh is an ex-convict. Finral is careless with women, but he's working on it. And Vanessa, yes, she drinks, but she is also working on it. We've seen it in the anime and the filler episodes, even though they are canon as well. But she's working on her drinking habits. So Nacht to go on talk about Magna and Zora just based on the looks, that was beyond petty. And Nacht goes on to say that if you don't want to be judged on your appearance, don't look that way. Like, Nacht is the last one to talk about somebody's appearance. He looks like Brock in the face from Pokemon, but, I digress. But it amazes me so much that the Black Bulls have proved within the series, winning the awards in the Star Festival, being looked as the second strongest squad within the Clover Kingdom, even though we already know they are the strongest. But of course, when it comes to the citizens in the Clover Kingdom, and also Nacht, they don't see the Black Bulls in a good light. Despite the fact that the Black Bulls put their life on a line every arc, these guys are a family. The only time the Black Bulls really didn't have a key role in an arc is when the 8 shiny generals attacked the Clover Kingdom and Chitin. But despite everything that Nacht said, the Black Bulls are very good people and they fight and they get along with each other. Nacht, he hasn't been around them, so he really doesn't understand how these personalities are. So of course, personalities are going to clash when Nacht steps into the picture. If Nacht was around when the Black Bulls were going through their trials and tribulations, he would have felt differently. So I think this arc is definitely going to be a redemption arc for the Black Bulls in the eyes of Nacht. And I think at the end of this arc, Nacht will learn to accept the Black Bulls. But what's crazy to me is that the Black Bulls have 2 days to get stronger, and that's what Nacht left them with. So he's not completely giving up on them. He's saying that if you want to save that worthless bastard Yami, you guys have to get stronger. So he's planning on, if they get strong enough, they may be in this elite squad around Asta to go into the Spade Kingdom. So I am worried because, man, I don't want to see anyone die, but It's going to be very scary, but it's going to be the time with them to prove themselves to Nacht. And I'm very intrigued how this will unfold. So now let's talk about the juicy parts of the chapter. Let's talk about it. Now, this is something that I avoided a little bit in my review to talk about. I saved it for this chapter breakdown, but Nacht takes Asta to a noble's house. He said a certain noble, a former noble, that is. And you see how he emphasized saying former noble after he said, yes, a certain noble's house. And right after he states that, we see a panel right under it where we see a picture of two siblings and a parent. Now, Tabata wouldn't have thrown this in there for no reason. He purposely set this up for the fans to theorize on this, because if we see the picture, one of the kids look just like Nacht. He has a bold cut, but something covering up the other siblings. I am 100% sure this is Nacht's old house. He wouldn't take Asta to no random house, and we just see a random picture. Now, this could mean two things. That is either Nacht's sibling that he is alive, or this Nacht sibling that is dead. Nacht clearly has an issue with people who are bad but then try to do the right thing, or he just have a general issue with people that are evil, because he talked about it in a captain's meeting. Either some villain did some crazy stuff to his family, or if it was Nacht, or you know who. I'm gonna say that for a whole different video, because that's a huge theory I want to dive in deep with, but I can't do it in this video. I do want to bring up the fact that I love this spell that Nacht used, his Dark Garden Invitation, because he mentioned that the way his shadow magic worked, he and whoever he touches can move from shadow to shadow. But he sends Asta to this whole different area, and it looks extremely spooky. I'm not sure if this is a whole different realm that Nacht created with his shadow magic, something similar to what Dorothy uses with her Glamour World spells, or this is just a whole different area within the house. But either way, I just thought it was cool. Nacht tells Asta that what they're about to do is a devil binding ritual, which would allow him to make a contract with his devil and make his power his own, a forbidden ceremony that makes the devil's power your own by command. However, the ritual requires a connection with the devil, and you have to have relics to summon the devils in the world temporarily, and we see that Nacht has 4 relics, which makes sense why when he summoned his devils, there were 4 of them. Even though it could be that one devil that is on his shoulder, that could just be many forms of that devil that Nacht has under his relic that he can summon. But I think that those are different devils. However, Nacht mentioned that Asta already has a connection with the devil. It's through his arm and through his grimoire. So his contract was already made. He doesn't need a relic. So it makes me curious, about the Dark Triad. What did they use to have a sacrifice and make a contract for their devils? We see the marks on their bodies, their faces. Those are representations of their contract. But I wonder what kind of relic did they have, because we didn't see that. And it may be because they don't have one. That's why they need to use a Tree of Cliff-Off to summon their devils temporarily. Because we've seen that Vanica Mijekula was able to speak through her. But maybe the symbols that they have on their chest could be the representations of their so-called relics. But there just could be different ways to have a contract with your devils, and I believe that Tabata will tap into that more in this arc. But we see that the training start with Nacht creating these dark runes around the room, and once that happened, he says summon, and then we see Asta's arm is completely gone. So this lets us know this is Asta's way of summoning his devil in the real world temporarily through his arm. That is the contract. But it's crazy to me because Nacht states that you have to defeat your demon and win. And we see that the anti-magic devil, his face is now revealed. He looked just like Asta, but more demonic. And we know that this could just be a representation of Asta since he was inside his grimoire, but not his true form. But what's crazy is that Nacht saying that you have to beat your devil, that means that Nacht did the exact same thing and fought his devil. But in this situation, it's odd because Asta doesn't even have an arm. How is he going to fight his devil? I feel like this would be more of a physical fight because both of these guys have anti-magic, Asta and his anti-magic devil. But that's if Asta can use his anti-magic powers with his devil being outside the world and he's ready to fight him. So it's going to be very confusing. I'm very excited for it though, but I think this changes everything because Asta is now in a situation where he's going to fight his inner demon, literally. And this could change so much because after this battle, whatever the outcome may be, Asta and his anti-magic devil, their bond is not going to be the same. There may be more of a friendship there, or maybe more of a rival there. So I am curious to see what happens, and I will say that for a whole different video. I definitely got discussions of new abilities that Asta is going to use if this training goes well. So if you guys want to stay around for that, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe, notification bells on. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like on it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Join my Discord, that's in the description. Follow me on Twitter, that's in the description as well. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves, and I'm out.